Hey guys, it's John from That DIY Couple, and I'm about to show you how to build the ultimate karaoke system. We're having a birthday party for us and our friends coming up, and we really like going to karaoke, but private room karaoke, but we don't like paying a lot of money for karaoke rooms. So I decided, as sort of a surprise for Shannon this year, I would buy all the components that basically a professional karaoke system has. So there are, I think, 3 major schools of thought about how you would want to do karaoke at home if you want to do karaoke at home. The first is like literally go to YouTube and watch a karaoke video and just sing along with it, and that's like really fun. But I think that there is something kind of special about having like a microphone and like a sound system and kind of doing everything like you would find at a real karaoke place. The second school of thought is buying like an all-in-one karaoke machine, and there are like 1,000 of these on Amazon that you could find. They're a microphone, they come maybe with music or where for you to connect music to it. It's usually like a box. You could even buy them at like Sam's Club or Walmart. And I think those are kind of cool, but they're not really kind of the whole experience. You're not going to get like really cool sound. There might be limitations on the music that you can get. You might be locked into a particular karaoke manufacturer's way of doing stuff. So the third way to do it, which is like the real way to do it in my opinion, is to buy the components of a karaoke system. And that's what I've done. I haven't found like any guides online about really how to do this. There are a couple websites that I'll leave in the description that I used to find all this stuff. But what I did is bought all of this stuff on Amazon after a lot of research. I'm going to unbox it for you right now and show you what I got and why I got it. And then we're going to connect it all up. I have to go buy some cables. But we'll connect it all up and see if it works. The first thing that you might think about when making a karaoke system is, how am I going to actually get karaoke music? Like, what is the thing that's going to control my karaoke music? And there are a lot of different theories on this. Karaoke music sometimes still comes in CD form. Even though it's 2018, it still happens. But what I'm going to use is my laptop, and I'm going to connect it to my TV and all this other systems. I'm using software that I'll describe a little bit later about how to do it. I did a lot of research on the best way to get music and the best software to use. I'm not like sponsored by any of these companies, just to be clear, but I think the software is by far the best. Basically my laptop is going to be running the karaoke system, and I'm going to be connecting the audio out of my laptop to all these other components. So sort of the brains of the system is this. This is called a mixer. This is a Alesis Multimix 4 that I did a lot of research on and figured out this is probably the best device for the price point. What a mixer does is mix all of the various audio levels that are coming into your speakers at the appropriate levels. So the mixer takes the karaoke like music from your computer and also the microphones, puts it all in here. You can adjust the various levels of microphones and the sound coming from your computer. You can add things like reverb and other effects on it. This is a pretty nice mixer. I've never used this or opened it up before. I've never really used a mixer, so I'm just going to open it up and see. This does have a USB connection too. I think it's a USB out connection essentially. So if I wanted to output the source, the mixed kind of result from this, I can do it via this USB port in the back. But also Hugo is here and would like to help with the process. So I think, I don't know, I'm not an expert on this, but my impression is that having a high quality mixer is really important. So this is the line in for the mic signals. There's a line in that's going to be coming from my computer for the karaoke signal. These are all the balancing things that I'm sure I'll figure out exactly what they do. And then there's a line out to other components of the system that I'll show you in a second. So that's the mixer. These are the microphones, and I haven't opened these up either. But what I decided, I did a lot of research here as well, and I decided that I wanted to get wireless microphones. So wired microphones are a lot cheaper, but wireless microphones are kind of what you'd see at an actual karaoke place. These are the actual microphones. They pair essentially with a base station, which looks like this. This has these antennas. You pair them with the microphones, and then this connects to your mixer, and you can control the relative volume and sound of the microphones all through the mixer. The final component could be either one or two different components, depending on what you want to do. And this is the most expensive component by far. I'll put the prices and where I got these in the video description and also here in the video to see. This is the speaker. So there are two ideas with buying a speaker. You could buy what's called a powered speaker, or you could buy what's called a passive speaker. So a powered speaker is what you might see, it's like a PA system essentially. The speaker itself contains amplification. The speaker has a wattage value, and you plug in the speaker or speakers into your wall, and the speaker is kind of an all-in-one contained thing. A passive speaker is like what you might find in your surround sound system. So you'll have a separate amplifier that you connect to. The amplifier itself provides power to the different speakers, and the speakers themselves are relatively small because the speakers themselves don't actually have power. They just receive power from the amplifier and the signal from the amplifier. I went with an active speaker for a couple of different reasons, but mostly because I only wanted to buy one speaker because this is pretty expensive. Buying an amplifier using a passive speaker requires buying an amplifier and buying passive speakers. And if I ever wanted to kind of increase the power of my system, I would have to buy a bigger amplifier. So just the amplifier alone is probably the cost of the speaker, not including other speakers I would have to buy. So we'll see, but in the research that I've done, having a powered speaker is more of the preferred solution than having an amplifier and passive speakers for a karaoke system. So this speaker is like humongous. I'm doing karaoke like in my living room, so this is going to be way more power than I think I will ever realistically need. I think this weighs like 70 pounds. Holy crap, that's awesome. So I don't know a lot about speakers, so I can't really tell you what any of these different components of a speaker are, but this to me looks like a speaker. So on the back, so this speaker has kind of a mixing system built in. So these like gain controls and treble controls you can also control from the mixer. So I will probably end up setting this at like some normal control and control everything from the mixer. But essentially these are the components where you plug in. The way the system will work is that my computer, which I'm not sure where I put, my computer is going to go into the mixer. The mixer is going to connect to this base station for the microphones, and then there's going to be a cable coming out of the mixer into the speaker that provides the mixed audio signal. And now what I need to do is buy a bunch of cables to connect everything together, which I didn't buy because I wasn't sure exactly what I needed. And once I do that, I can connect everything, set up the software, show you how it's going to work. Hopefully it'll work, and we're going to use it tomorrow. So I have to, if it's not going to work tonight, then I have a big problem because I want to surprise Shannon with it, and it has to work for tomorrow. So we'll be right back. I'm gonna go get some cables. We're gonna hook everything up, and then we'll see if it works. Hey guys, so I finally put together the karaoke system, and I'm gonna show you all the cables that I used and how it works, and then show some footage of it actually in action at a birthday party we just did for ourselves over the weekend. But if you remember, so there are three basic components that I used to build the system: the speaker, the mixer, and then the actual music provider, and I'll show you how I wired everything together. So I'm using my laptop to provide the music for the whole karaoke system, and I'm using a program called Karaoke. I did a lot of research about ways to get karaoke music, and as I alluded to before, it's really, really hard to find karaoke music online, particularly that's not really, really expensive. Karaoke is a subscription karaoke product. I'm not being compensated or paid by them in any way, I just really like them. It's a subscription karaoke software, and I think we pay $9 or $10 a month for access to a huge list of karaoke songs. And what's cool about it in another way is that we can have a split screen system right here. So on this laptop I have kind of like the Karaoke display, and then on our big TV here, which is like our karaoke TV, when we put on a song, the lyrics for the song will display on the screen. There's also a remote control feature where people can go to essentially a website and then put in music on their, like request music on their phone, and it'll populate a queue on the software, which is super, super great. So the way that I've connected my computer to the TV is through an HDMI cable. And the way that I've connected the audio that comes from this software to the rest of my system is through this. So I've used an 1/8 inch to 1/4 inch converter to convert the headphone out of my computer into a signal that then goes around this 1/4 inch cable into my mixer. And I don't know really if this is the best way to do this, because the signal that comes from this is like really, really, really hot. Like it's very strong compared to the signal that comes from the microphone, but it seems to work for my purposes. So the signal from this comes into the mixer through this cable, and this cable, which is a 1/4 inch cable, is connected into this. This is the microphone receiver, and it's connected, as I showed before, to these two wireless microphones. So the wireless microphones connect to this, and this has a few effects controls on it. Most specifically, it has an echo control, and that's nice for karaoke because normally, or a reverb control, I should say. It's nice for karaoke because normally when you go to like a karaoke place, there's some reverb on your voice that makes you sound a little bit better, and people are like a little bit self-conscious, less self-conscious about singing when they can hear their voice a little bit. So these are wirelessly connected to this base station, and this base station is then connected again to the mixer. So through this cable, and on the mixer, I can independently adjust the volume level for the music and also for the microphone. That's one of the advantages of the mixer. So if the microphone is too loud, I can adjust it down. If the music is too loud, I can adjust it down, adjust it up. There are also things like equalization controls and effects controls. I haven't really messed around with them a lot, except I've changed a little bit of the balance for the vocals to make the bass more receptive, because I found that when I was singing, it was hard to hear deeper notes, lower notes. There are all sorts of controls here that I haven't really messed around with, but what I'm most interested in is the volume control adjustments here, and then some of the equalization adjustments. That's the advantage of a mixer. From the mixer, I have two line outs, so main outs. This mixer anticipates that you would have like two speakers at least. So there's a right channel output and a left channel output, but I only have one speaker. So what I decided to do is just take both of these outputs and put them into the two inputs on my speaker. So it's 1/4 inch cables coming from the mixer and then going straight into my powered speaker here. These are actually 1/4 inch to XLR cables. So the connection to my speaker are these two XLR cables. And my speaker itself also has some mixer-like controls. Like I can adjust the specific volume levels for each line input, and then I can adjust the master volume, some treble, some bass stuff. But I just basically have left this the way it is, because it gets really complicated if you're adjusting the volume here and the volume there. Like frankly, the microphone receiver also has a volume control on it. But so everything hooked up together works like really, really well. I would say that this is akin to a professional karaoke system that you'd find at a karaoke bar or a private room karaoke place, except that I think Karaoke is even a superior program to the musical selections that you'd find at a lot of places. Like this thing has basically like every song that you could ever want. We had a really fun time using this. it's way too powerful for this little tiny room. I mean, if I turned the volume up and everything, it would like blow this entire room out of the water. But it works really well. To give you a sense of the pricing on everything, the most expensive component was this speaker. I believe this is about a little over $200 when I bought it. This mixer I think was about 80 bucks or 100 bucks. And maybe you don't really need this. You might be able to get by with a really good system without it. But I like it before because of adjusting that volume. And if I want to expand on it or add more speakers or do other things, it's going to be really helpful. And the microphones themselves I think were about 80 bucks. And the cables, probably like 40 or 50 bucks in total just to connect everything together. There might be better ways to connect the cables. I'm not super sure, but it seems to work for me for right now. So if you want to build your own karaoke system and you don't want to buy something like pre-built, if you want to have like a professional system, I'm going to put a lot of information in the description about what I bought, how I found out what to buy, how I built it. If you want to ask questions about it, please let me know. And it's really easy to do if you have even a rudimentary knowledge of like AV stuff. I mean, I have a rudimentary, I'm not like an expert by any means. So if you have even like a basic knowledge of it, you can definitely figure it out. And I think this is going to give us a lot of years of fun coming up. Thanks, guys.
Strong.